Let's talk about Europe's based year, because we own the island next to it, and the rest of the Anglosphere. It wasn't great, well, in political terms. I mean, you've still got, commie New Zealand.
What do you mean?
Commie Canada.
We've got Rishi Sunak in charge now. He's going to sort everything out.
Yeah, we have a new dictator. The Americans have some, I don't know. Like, they've got some weird puppet at the top of it, but clearly the whole system's run by lunatics by the side. Don't know what's going on in Australia because it's too far away and I don't care. That's a joke, I just haven't kept up. But Europe's been having quite fun, and I thought we'd check in because, they're upset. We'll start off just by mentioning Douglas Murray's War on the West book club that we did together once upon a time, which was good fun.
I still haven't read it, but, I take your word for it.
It's a funny thing, you can go check out on the website, our review there. And the thing is, obviously, Douglas did a lot of work on the strange death of Europe, which was good job, and alerted a lot of people to the problems, which I think is now bearing its fruits. It'll be interesting to see if this book ends up bearing any fruits. Then maybe it already is. We'll start off just with the news of, let's say, the year in review of European good boy baseness.
All right.
First thing, being the Sweden Democrats, who are now in the Swedish Parliament there. If you scroll down a little bit, you can see it on the right side in that big old box underneath the half pie graph thing that I hate European parliamentary layouts. Look at that piece of whole side project.
It's the fact that a load of the colours just blend into each other as well. What's even the point?
Awful, isn't it?
It's terrible.
I much prefer the British system where there's two distinct sides, and then you can at least compare, the Crips versus the Bloods over here. But no, instead we have this,
I would kind of love if the British Parliament, they all just pulled the Uzis on each other at one point. Like, this has gone too far now.
I can no longer be done with debate. But here you can see the Sweden Democrats being at least the only base party I see in major Swedish politics there, and they're now offering confidence and supply to the government because, well, maybe they think they were the biggest party in the results, or the second biggest. I can't remember off the top of my head. I think, biggest. Yeah, there you are. Which is annoying that they're not in the government directly, but their confidence supply is not bad. So that means the government actually relies on the Sweden Democrats to do anything. And if you go to Italy, of course, we have Mellons. Miss Mellons. It was literally her name. It's not my fault she's also got melons, but Anyway, Maloney over here, one of the brothers of Italy, decided to just take over the government. Pretty cool. And then
you say it like they actually did a Mussolini and just marched in and said, this is ours now?
Well, they sort of turned over and went, we're popular. And everyone went, yeah, you are. Yeah, let's put her in charge. So
yeah, I think she said, I want to be the right-wing Tony Blair. And then everyone on the left went, just like Mussolini.
Not quite sure, though. Same, but
Blair comes out like, I'm just the left-wing Mussolini.
Yeah, and if we go to Spain, we can see Vox are also polling. I think this is this year's election in December. Quite a while away. But they're on their way polling at the moment. They're the, let's say, populist right-wing party in Spain. And they're on their way to 15% or maybe 20% of the vote. So that'll be interesting as well.
In fact, you can connect the two, because I think one of the Maloney speeches that was going around earlier this year was at a Vox gathering in Spain.
Yeah, there are some cringe things about Vox, in case you don't know. They're not like the American Vox, obviously.
Well, I bloody hope not.
No, they keep whining about Gibraltar, and it's just like, shut up.
I don't know enough about the Spanish situation right now.
No, it's one of their points of Spanish salt, isn't it? It's like, you own Gibraltar, that's colonialism. It's like, we used to own 2 provinces in Morocco, and we think that's based. So why can't you just think what we're doing is based? Idiots. Anyway, French Anglo-politics aside, if we go to France, we also have, the Spanish Anglo-politics there. If we go to French Anglo-politics, we can see Le Pen as well, which, she lost the presidential election. But the thing is, if you scroll down on this, we can get to a point where it shows if you go down a little bit more, you see that graph there on the left? I don't know if you can click, because that's on 2022, I believe. If you click on 2017, we can see how much she made up. Like, that was before, the gap. Closing that gap.
I think people are attributing this a lot to Zemmour coming out and basically just forcefully yanking the Overton window to the right.
You're coming with me.
Yeah. And people were like, okay, Marine Le Pen, moderate.
Yeah, and also just France continuously gets worse. Apparently Macron's stepping down in 27, so that'll be fun. But either way, okay, that was...
So what you're saying is potentially 4 or 5 more years of Macron?
I think that's right. I might be wrong.
I hope it's sooner. I hope he just goes away.
There's other elections in France and the presidential, so I'm sure people will do their thing. But the reason I'm bringing all this up is just context of, how's Europe been doing in the last year? Well, pretty good, to be honest, in that regard, is because there is some funny salt I thought we'd enjoy. Here we have The Guardian. The Guardian's view on Europe's radical right crossing the cordon sanitaire.
I could write this article myself without having read it first, and I'm almost certain it would be entirely accurate as to what we're about to read.
I don't disagree. But the thing is, these NPCs are jolly good fun.
They can be, yes.
They say in here, the legacy of a seismic political autumn is beginning to unfold. Just before politics adjourned for the Christmas break, the migration minister in Sweden's new right-wing government announced plans to make it easier to revoke residence permits for immigrants.
Sounds pretty good.
Pretty sensible.
Yeah.
That's not even slightly objectionable. I don't know what the problem is. It's really basic.
I don't believe that there is a thing as a right to force your way into a country and make them accept you.
No.
There shouldn't
it's called
be.
Colonialism.
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah.
I remember imperialism being bad, but I might have just been reading the wrong history books.
Far right say imperialism bad. Anyway, Maria Malmer Sterngard belongs to the centre-right moderate party, but by her side during the press conference was Henrik Wiesch, a deputy leader of the Sweden Democrats. And I'm going to butcher all your names because you're foreigners. And the thing is, the radical right party that originated as a fringe neo-Nazi movement in Sweden... Right, okay, we're going down that route. Right. The Sweden Democrats are not part of the governing coalition. In fact, until the landmark election in September, when the party finished second, it had been judged beyond the pale and excluded from power. Technically, that remains the case, but as Mr. Vinge's presence testifies, the reality is very different.
I find it so funny that they just keep saying that, these parties keep originating in fringe neo-Nazi movements in Sweden, Scandinavia. So all I'm imagining is that all of the early 90s actual neo-Nazis from the black metal scene in those areas just grew up to become politicians. Varg Vikernes is going to end up Prime Minister.
Varg for President of Norway.
I want to see it. But it's so ridiculous because of my experience being a black metal fan. I know what Scandinavian neo-Nazis look like and what they talk like. And they're not this.
No, they're not.
Trust me, a neo-Nazi in Scandinavia would not do what the Sweden Democrats do and team up with the Christians. They would never team up with the Christians.
That's a very good point. But she says in here the reason she's so disgusted by how the reality is very different is dependent on the Sweden Democrats' support to stay in office, the Prime Minister allowed the Sweden Democrats to exert significant influence, particularly on the favourite topics such as migration and crime. It's like, yeah, these guys who have really good policies on migration and crime and are experts on migration and crime as a result. Maybe we should have them in charge of migration and crime.
Yeah, your neighbourhood may be much safer, but have you considered how racist that is?
You what? you want to tell us more, Mr. Social Democrat? Yeah, there we go. I love how it's sort of seen as a marginal issue as well. They're trying to play it down like it's not really that important. Like, yes, they're in charge of it, but they're basically nothing. It's like, yeah, it's only migration. It's only the future existence of Sweden. That's not important. Okay. In contrast, Sweden then, the cordon sanitaire around the radical right has been discreetly lowered. In Rome, 1,500 miles to the south, a still more startling and far-reaching process of political detoxification has already taken place. I don't like it's a bad thing. It's like, that thing, the well, to be honest, centrist, like the meme is real.
Did they actually just describe the right taking over in Italy as political detoxification?
Yes.
Because that's not sending the message it should be if you're trying to say that this is a bad thing. Detoxification is a good thing.
It also tells us something, which is like you've made... Because if it was detoxification of like the Nazi party, right? Like all of a sudden all of Italy was like, well, let's bring that back. Yeah, okay, fair enough. I'd be a bit worried. But the thing is, like, the thing you've detoxified here, when you actually look at Mrs. Mellon's policies, is really sensible stuff.
We're really sticking with Mrs. Mellon?
Is her name.
Okay, alright.
Well, her father didn't change it, so...
What? You're not insulting Mr. Mellons, are you?
I think she's married. I think it is Mr. Mellon's fault that she is called
Mr. and Mrs. Mellons.
They live in the greenhouse.
I should stop being so childish, sorry.
What's
Carry
the
on.
story on Balamori? Anyway, so... Where the hell was I? I don't remember. Anyway, whatever. She's taken over. It's been detoxified, and they're scared about that.
Oh, they mentioned...
neo-fascist roots.
They said it. They said the thing. They said neo-fascist roots, despite the fact that Mussolini's party split into basically every single current-day Italian party in one way or the other.
And also it's Italian politics, so who cares? But anyway, they used to score 4% in the 2018 elections, and then now they're in government, and she's the Prime Minister. Mellons for Prime Minister, which is a good strategy. Anyway, in October, Miss Mellons joined... This is cock and balls all over again. Joined her close political ally in Hungary, Viktor Orban, who also just got re-elected in spring. Which, again, another country to add to the base list, by the looks of it.
He got re-elected by a bunch of democracy-hating miscreants.
That's actually how they phrase it. And Poland's Prime Minister also got re-elected, and they were all at a rally at Vox together, having a good old jolly time, which this person was very upset about. I love the statement used by Mrs. Mellons was, long live the Europe of patriots, which, looking forward to. Once shunned and confined to the periphery of post-war European politics, radical right movements, such as maybe a Europe should exist, yeah, that's radical right, have penetrated the political mainstream. In France, the idea of a cordon sanitaire was conceived to deal with the rise of the Vichy apologist Jean-Marie Le Pen. His daughter, Marine, has effectively broken through it. Yeah, how'd she do that? She didn't turn up and be like, you know what, my dad did nothing wrong, he's right about everything, I'm continuing his life. No, she went, yeah, no, that was dumb.
She didn't turn up with a copy of Mein Kampf and go, you know, I don't know if you guys have read this, he's got some good points in here.
Waving Vichy flags.
Yeah, no, there's nothing like that.
No, it's funnily enough, the way she got through that is changing. Like, she's not her dad. It's mad, I know, something to conceive. And now the polling on Marine Le Pen in France, 48% of the French public consider her a patriotic right candidate, compared to a nationalistic xenophobic right, which was the other option on the list. Which, you ever seen the referendum for Austrian annexation by the Nazis?
I'm going to assume it was like 99.1% in favour or something like that.
Yeah, it was, but the ballot paper's the funniest thing.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, you gotta visualise it because I have an image.
Okay.
It's a piece of paper that just says, like, should we join with our brothers in Germany? And then in the middle of the bit of paper, there's a circle that just says yes, and you tick that. And then off to the right in the corner, smaller as well, circle, that just very slightly says 9. And,
That's how you do it.
What do you think of Marine Le Pen? Patriot or xenophobic nationalist? Yeah, okay. Normalization has been a decades-long process. The crash, the Eurozone debt crisis, and the misguided austerity policies that followed inculcated anti-elite sentiments, allowing the radical right a hearing. Hang on, the anti-elite people got a hearing, and you're upset about that.
Are we just supposed to pretend the elite don't despise us and want to destroy our cultures?
There's a more revealing point in there, we'll come back to in a moment, because they also say anti-lockdown sentiment and conspiracy theorizing about the pandemic have offered other opportunities, but it is above all the issue of migration that views once considered extreme are now dictating the terms of the mainstream. That's the thing, because all throughout the article, they never actually define what radical right meant.
No. You're right, they don't.
No, instead in that paragraph right at the bottom. That's where they do it.
It's on migration.
Well, it was a few things there. If you want if you're anti-banker-run elite civilization, the Eurozone crisis there, and that's you're radical right. If you're anti-bureaucrats running everything, the EU there, then you're a radical right individual. If you're anti-prison planet, being locked down in your house 24/7, that's your radical right membership reinstated, and also anti-mass migration, that makes you radical right. So being pro-native and being pro-natural freedom is what the radical right is.
Given some of the light comments he made recently, the anti-mass migration point, that makes Keir Starmer now a member of the radical right, because he said, if Labour get in charge, we won't just keep importing in half the rest of the world. I don't believe him.
No.
But just saying that makes him radical right now.
Welcome to the radical right.
Starmer, our boy!
Yeah, no. Anyway, they say in here, they go on to whine about Viktor Orban saying very naughty things that I can't read on YouTube, and Mrs. Mellons agreeing. And then they go on to whine that in Denmark, even the left-wing social democrats there have started doing right-wing things.
Sorry, should we just say that Viktor Orban had made certain comments about the grand switcheroo?
There we are. I'll do. I can't say what he said about it or what went on, but that's
just
normal, nice, free country in which I could say whatever I want on the internet.
Yeah, Michael's highlighted it there, the grand switcheroo.
There we are. Anyway, so the thing is, the Social Democrats, they whine, are also doing similar things, such as deciding that maybe, just maybe, let's have a cap on non-Western immigration. Pretty good policy. And also they decided to start sending Syrian refugees back to Syria. Which, yeah, why would you do that? If you looked at a map of Syrian civil war anytime soon, let's go to the next image here to have a look at that. Yeah, it's mostly over. Like, sure, there's still some switcherooing going on over there, but frankly, you see the pink?
Yeah, I see all
Yeah.
that pink right there.
Yeah, that's Al-Assad's land. Like, he's retained control, well, regained control of almost everything. And in
And
which
who's
case,
this tiny little blue spot here?
that's the Syrian opposition,
Okay.
who,
I will say the composition of
Are in
this
the middle
map
of the
does
desert.
make it look a little bit like it's wet itself.
yeah, and there's that. But also, it's just the fact, of course, like, the population lives near the sea, not in the middle of the desert. So, yes, if you live in Homs, probably the war's over. Probably it's time to go home and start reconstruction. In which case, what would you be doing in Denmark? What reason would you possibly have to be in Denmark? I mean, sure, if you lived in some of the, like, conflict zones, then, yeah, okay, it's money. It's all money. Back to the article. They then list Brussels fights back. And
Sorry, am I? This article
Yeah.
actually expects me to be cheering along the EU.
yeah, there are boys. Why? Because they're technocratic elites who want to bribe Poland and
Oh
Hungary
my
into doing
God.
what they wish.
Ursula, Ursula.
Yeah, new. They write, Europe's population is aging and shrinking as a result of declining birth rates, and migrant labour will become a economic necessity for decades ahead. They were
Tom-
saying this 20 years ago.
Did Tom Harwood write this article?
God, yeah. I just, again, say the line, Bart. You need immigrants because you're all getting old. Yay. Did you know that immigrants also get old? I didn't either. I was shocked. I found out. I went down to the hotel over there. I asked the guy, how old are you? And he said, I was 18 last year and now I'm 19.
See, what? See, I don't believe it. For one, you see average age in those sorts of places, and they're all 18. So
Yeah, I don't know how that happens.
I doubt they can reach 19. And two, I was told that immigrants are perfect angels, and I
Yeah.
thought perfect angels don't get old and don't die.
No. Instead, it turns out aging doesn't just affect Europeans. It's a bit broader than that. That disease of getting
Life
old.
is so unfair.
Yeah. Amongst the young, liberal attitudes on social questions are deeply entrenched and will ultimately shape the future. But an illiberal counterinsurgency, with its roots in once ostracized political traditions, have installed itself at the heart of the European body politic. Ah, yeah, cry about it. I love that. It's just like, don't you know they're rebelling? Yeah. Suck it. I don't care. And if we get back to the point of like actually having kids, because the thing is like, why are these counterinsurgents becoming popular? It's because they actually offer you an alternative than just how about we import the entire world to the point that the original nation no longer exists and instead we have Heathrow, the country in which we now live. Well, what if we just had kids? Yeah, no, it's a difficult concept.
I can understand why such a thought wouldn't come across Tom Harwood's mind.
This go baby making, like going fishing. We have here just Hungary, for example. If you scroll down there, since 2010, since Viktor Orban got into power and has been there since, because he keeps winning elections. If you scroll down to the graph, you can see that just, well, it has gone up for Hungary. It's not shot up amazingly. Ignore the UN projections because that's
But
not
it's
real.
it's a steady trend upwards, which is actually really wonderful to see, because one of the things that I do worry about is whether we're too far along as a civilization now, especially with low birth rates as we have, or at least below replacement rate. So it's nice to see that other countries are showing, as slow as it can be, it can happen.
But every Western country I checked out on this website, between 2010 and now, it's fallen, the replacement rate. Whereas in Hungary, it went from 1.13 to 1.53 in that time period.
That's a good bump up.
Yeah, it's good. And in which case, it just needs more bumping. And the thing is,
That's right, Hungarians, get bumping.
you know the Do It for Denmark thing?
What?
You seen that?
I've not seen that. That's great.
Hilarious. So there was this advert by the Danish government, whole sidetrack. They decided they needed Danish couples to start having kids. So they started making TV adverts. They were like, how about you go on holiday to Paris? It's very romantic, I've heard. Do it for Denmark. We need more babies.
Right, we need a similar one for England or Britain. I've thought of one. Bang for Britain.
That's gonna be crap though, you know it is. Like it will be Big Les or something. Like it's
We need Big Les.
like the Do It for Denmark advert. I'm gonna find that advert and send it to Michael to play after this because it's funny as hell. Actually, I wonder if we can include it in the segment because it'll be funny. Could we do that, Michael? If I send it to you now, maybe. All right. Anyway, well, I'll just end this off talking about.
Michael is enough of a tech whiz to be able to open multiple things at once.
Well, we got play it as well and whatnot, but it's we'll just end it off. I'll speak briefly about why, because I've always heard that Hungary has family policies that actually make you have kids. I didn't really know what, so I went and had a look at it. And these numbers I salary adjusted, so I think our salary is about 2.5 times what it is in Hungary. So I've times everything by 2.5.
Oh, okay.
So it's going to be a bit friggity, but it is what it is. Get back to that. Family benefit, £360 a month. There you are. just have some kids. This is assuming you're going to have 3 to 4 kids.
I think we have something like that in the UK, but it's like £80 a month, so it's barely even worth it.
I know, but this gets ridiculous. So discounts, so this is off your taxes, so that's £300 a month because you've got kids. So there you are, have some more money back to for yourself. Housing support, this is for you to buy a house or an apartment. And the highest rating here is you could get the salary adjusted again, at times up by 2.5. But you get like 50 grand to buy a house, salary adjusted there. It's obviously much less because it's in Hungary. The Hungarian prices are much lower. But yeah, you know the thing you need to have a family is a house. You're not going to have it all in your studio apartment. Might be a bad idea. Might not be an incentive.
Well, yeah, the thing is, you see a lot of young people of our generation talking about, I don't want kids because of this reason or that reason. I don't want to hurt the planet. But I've met so many people who are just like, well, I couldn't afford it even if I did want it.
What bedroom are they going to be in?
Yeah.
I ain't got one.
Yeah,
I got one for me.
They're going to be in the cupboard. Yeah. That's where they're going to be. They're going to be under the sink.
There's also maternity benefit, which is about 350 quid. Childcare allowance, which is about 700 quid. This is adding up.
Per month.
Yeah, extra holiday for parents. If you have 3 or more children, you get 7 days paid vacation added on to your mandatory vacation.
And that just makes sense because you've got people to look after.
And also, if you're a woman and you've worked for 40 years, you can retire. You might be 56, let's say you started working at 16, retire. Go for it. Have your pension. And the reason for that is because they want the grandmothers to be able to spend time with the grandkids.
That's all just really wholesome stuff.
To the extreme. That's
great.
Great.
That's good. This is what we should be encouraging in this country.
There's also payouts for people outside of Hungary. So if you're having Hungarian kids outside of Hungary, you also get some money. Not as much, but it's just
still help, isn't
really
it?
Funny. I know the Romanians in the chat will be reading about Transylvania, but anyway, we'll go to do it to Denmark, shall we? Just to end this off because I think it's funny. Let's enjoy this.
Kan sex redde Danmarks fremtid? Danmark har et problem. Fødselsraten er den laveste i 27 år, og der fødes ikke nok børn til at forsørge den aldrende befolkning. Skiftende regeringer har ikke kunne løse problemet, men der må være en løsning. Her er Emma. Hun er dansker, men selvom hun er født og opvokset i Danmark, er hun undfanget i Paris. Lige deroppe på det der hotelværelse. For 30 år siden tog Emmas forældre en lille sviptur.
Her dad just shows her around.
Hvis vægge kunne tale. Men det viser sig, at Emmas historie ikke er så enestående. 10% af alle danske børn er undfanget på en ferie.
At rejse og få nye oplevelser, det påvirker parforholdet, fordi de får overskud til at se og opleve hinanden på ny. Det frigør endorfiner i hjernen, og så får folk lyst til sex. Det får vi børn af.
Faktisk har danskerne 46% mere sex på ferier sammenlignet med hverdagen. Så for at hjælpe den faldende danske fødselsrate, vil Spis opfordre alle danskere til at tage på en romantisk storbyferie.
People have more sex when they're on holiday. Therefore, go on holiday, have sex, have kids.
Yes, save Denmark. Do it for Denmark.
Do it for Denmark. But if doing it for Denmark isn't motivation enough, we made it a little competition. Oh my goodness.
Book your holiday with...
our ovulation discount. Get it on and prove you can seal the child to win a 3-year supply of not baby supplies, baby stuff.
Yeah. There you are. And you can see the grandkids being like, well, we're waiting.
Yeah.
What
if your chance of conceiving isn't so high? Yeah, guys. It's not just about winning, it's about taking part. Just because you can't have kids doesn't mean you should stop trying.
Still buy our products and go on holiday anyway.
Yeah, there we are. It's the funniest advert in the world.
That's the best marketing campaign for holidays I've ever seen.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
If there was an English language version for whichever company needs to do that, I mean, get to it. Do it well. But also, I mean, the adverts are nice and all.
I would love to see a British company have the balls to put something like that out.
Certainly. But if you're looking for a real change, I mean, look, the based Hungarians seem to be showing us at least one policy way. If you appreciated that segment from the podcast of the Lotus Eaters, you can go to lotuseaters.com to get access to all the premium content we have on the site, such as the premium videos we do. This one on life lessons from It's a Wonderful Life. If you'd like to find out what else we're putting out, you can follow us on Getter at lotuseaters_com on Getter. Thank you and goodbye.